So just last month I did a massive book haul and said that I'm trying to rein in on my book buying, but I got a lot of this month. But I will say that majority of these are actually secondhand, so I didn't pay like full price for these, so you know. I don't feel too bad. I still feel bad though. Alright, without further ado, let's get started on this book haul. Okay, so I think I mentioned this on my last book haul that I did a pre-order for this one. This is Solo Leveling by 𝐁𝐨𝐨𝐤𝐬. This is the 4th volume. I still need to buy the 1st and the 2nd. I don't know how many volumes are going to be out for this series, but you know, I'm excited. And then I got A Brush with Love by Maisie Eddings. I heard a lot of really great things about this one. I heard a lot of people rave about this and said that it's a really good book, so I bought it. And this one came out, I think I ordered this when it came out, or just a few days after, but this is an adult romance. I think they are both in dental school and you know, they meet and they fall in love, so I'm excited. And then another one that I have been wanting to buy for a while, but I actually wanted this cover, If I Had Your Face by Francis Cha. This is secondhand, and I think you can see a little bit there are creases on the cover and it's not perfectly straight. It's a little bit bent like the spine, but I really wanted this cover. So this is by a Korean author, and this is, I think, following a family that runs a flower shop, and it talks about Asian beauty standards. I think it's also going to talk about cosmetic or plastic surgery. And then this one I ordered again because I've heard a lot of people say that this was really good, and just the premise itself sounded so interesting. Requested this on 𝐻𝐿. Even when it came out, I didn't receive a notification that I wasn't approved for this one. I haven't really checked it, but the second book comes out later this year. She decided to enter this kind of competition or like school for learning about tea making, the magic of tea making, because she believes that her mother and her sister were poisoned through tea, and she wanted to learn more about it and discover what really happened during that time. I've heard just that the magic system is very unique, especially because it revolves around tea making. So, you know, I'm excited. But also, this one came in with these gorgeous end papers. So pretty, look at that. It has this really cute embossing of a teapot. So adorable, and the art itself is actually really nice. I need to take this off though, but excited to read this one. And then another one that I have been meaning to read, that I finally got myself a physical copy of, The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. As you can see, this has this beautiful stamp that is embossed. This is the John Newbery medal, and I've just heard everybody who's read this love this, and this is a middle grade book. I don't really read a lot of middle grades now, but everybody who's read this book loved this one. I found this such a great read, so I feel like it's going to be whimsical and heartwarming, and I want that, you know? It's nice to read cute, heartwarming books once in a while. This one I got during Olivier Rodrigo's concert. I think I mentioned this quite a few times already. We had to get in line pretty early, and I didn't bring a physical book with me because we weren't really allowed to bring a lot of stuff, and I just didn't really think about it. But I went and got myself a few books that I can read while we were in line, and the first one, it's when I actually finished Lemon by Quan Yuson. This was recommended to me on my Asian Readathon vlog, and it was a very fast read, and really enjoyed this one. I got so much from this. Very emotional, very it will tugs at your heartstrings in a not so good way, because it deals with justice. It tackles what people's choices can do for you or to you, and kind of change the course of your life, the entirety of the course of your life. It talks about privilege and trauma and just the hurts that we inflict on other people, and I really enjoyed this one. It's not a lighthearted read at all. And then the other one that I bought, I haven't read this one, is I Am a Cat by Suzeki Matsume, and I saw this one and was like, this sounds a lot like Traveling Cat Chronicles, which I hauled last time, and I just thought that, you know, if it's going to be similar to that one, I feel like I'm going to really like it, or I'm going to enjoy it. This is a combination of 3 volumes in one, following a wandering cat, and it observes us humans, and I feel like it's going to be also quite emotional and gonna tug on the heartstring, but in a better way compared to Lemon. I feel like it's also going to show you the goods and the bads of being us and living as humans, and I don't know, I feel like it's going to be very emotional for me to read, so excited for this one as well. Okay, so this one is another one that I've heard very recently. I think Jack Edwards was the first one that I heard talk about this one, and it sounded like it's going to be a book that I will really like and appreciate. I'm talking about Sarwin Bliss by Meg Mason. I think we're following a character who, it says here, she had just 40. She used to work at Vogue and was going to write a novel. Now she creates internet content for no one. She used to live in Paris. Now she lives in a gated community in Oxford and that she hates and can't bear. bear to leave, but she must now that her loving husband Patrick has just left. But because there's something wrong with Martha. There has been since a little bomb went off in her brain at 17, leaving her changed in a way no doctor or drug could fix then, and no one even now can explain. Who can say why she is so often sad, cruel to everyone she loves? Why she finds it harder to be alive than other people? With Patrick gone, the only place Martha has left to go is her childhood home to live with her chaotic parents and survive without Ingrid, the sister who made growing up bearable, who said she would never give up on Martha, and who finally has. It feels like the end, but maybe by going back, Martha will start again. Maybe there's a different story to be written if Martha can work out where to begin. It's going to talk a lot about family and friends and mental health as well, and I feel like I'm going to really appreciate this a lot. So, Sarwin Bliss. And then a book that I've been wanting to own for a very long time. I mentioned this a few times already, that this is one of my favorite books of all time. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is secondhand, and I bought this on eBay, and I thought this was going to be in a little bit of a better condition than it came in, but I really like this cover and I like the sprayed edges, so I bought it, and I feel like one day, I will reread this one just to take me back to the time that I read this years ago. And again, I really, really enjoyed this one. So, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Another one that I've heard a lot of people talk about that I've been wanting to get to. Alone with You in the Ether by Olivie Blake. This one I want to read before I read the Atlas 6 because I believe this one came out before the Atlas 6. But I feel like Olivie Blake is an author that I will either really like or will not really vibe with me. I want to find out before I read any of her books. I want to read the first releases that she has, and I think they're all pretty short. It should be really very fast, but I think this one came out right before Atlas 6, so I want to read those books first. I know that she has a graphic novel as well, and she even has a webtoon as well, so I'm gonna read those first before I read this one. But I've heard a lot of really good things about this, and it's a pretty short novel. I feel like it's gonna be a really quick read. And then because I've been wanting to read a lot of poetry books, and I recently remembered again that there's actually a Filipino author that I've been wanting to read for years now, and that is Lang Leave. I remember a friend of mine in high school, actually we've been friends since we were elementary, loved Lang Leave. I don't know if she still reads Lang Leave now. I don't even know if Lang Leave has released any books recently, but I remember, I think we were already in high school then, that she has all of Lang Leave's works, and she's been telling me, I think she told me that I should read Lang Leave's work, but I've never really gotten around to doing it. I finally got myself a box set of her books, and this is not all of them. This is secondhand, and I actually thought that these were 4 books, but it turns out this small one here, is actually a notebook for you to write on. So I think these are her first works combined. So we have Love and Misadventures. I particularly remember this one because my friend had this, and I kept seeing it everywhere back when I still lived in the Philippines. Also have her Lullabies. This one I also have seen quite a lot, a little bit thicker. The Universe of Us. And again, the notebook. So it's just an empty notebook you can write stuff on. So this is her collection, Anthology of Love by Lang Leave. And I even remember, I think there was a book signing back then. I didn't go to it because, I haven't really read any of her works, but my friend went, and I remember that. So anyway, okay, so I have here My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. Again, another book that I've heard so many people talk about. This is very triggering though, because this talks about a teacher-student relationship after it came out that the teacher had been, taking advantage of the students that he's taught over the years. And this is following one of the girls that is now an adult, and she remembered this relationship to be like a really good one. Like, she didn't really see it as him taking advantage of her, and with everything that's been coming out, she's starting to like rethink this relationship and go back and kind of realize what really was happening during that time, because she was very young, she was a minor. Got this one secondhand. I actually got this one from Pango Books. If you guys don't know what Pango Books is, it's like Poshmark or eBay for books. And it's very easy to like navigate because it's all just books and bookish stuff. I'm actually selling on there as well. I've been on there quite a bit. I received a short thank you letter from the seller that I bought this from, but few nonfiction books. I've been getting a lot of nonfiction actually. The first one is this one, We Are the Weather by Jonathan Safran Foer, and I think I mentioned this one last month when I hauled Also Eating Animals by Jonathan Safran Foer. I feel like it's one of those things that I will be very much interested in reading because it's about, taking care of our Earth and, you know, the things that we can do to start saving the Earth, because Earth is going to shit and it's our fault. And then we also have How to Change Your Mind, what the new science of psychedelics teaches us about consciousness, dying, addiction, depression, and transcendence by Michael Pollan. Honestly, I don't really know what this is about. I just bought this because a lot of people were saying that this was a really good nonfiction to read related to psychology, and I'm a psychology graduate. I'm interested in these kinds of things, so I feel like I'm going to really enjoy this one, although this is thick. And we'll see if I am able to like really get a lot. Oh, there are illustrations. Ooh, it's gonna be talking about placebo effect. Interesting. Okay, are there any more illustrations? Is that the only one? I wanted to see if there are any more diagrams on here, but A Terrible Thing to Waste, Environmental Racism and Its Assault on the American Mind by Harriet A. Washington, author of The Medical Apartheid. Oh, and this is also secondhand. This is secondhand, and We Are the Weather is also secondhand. So it says, it shows how environmental racism drives a black-white IQ gap and explains what can be done to remedy toxic effects on marginalized communities. This is something that I've recently learned, the way that environmental racism exists, and that there are a lot of minority groups who have been fighting to change the world and fix the world because they're minorities. They are not really listened to, and some of them have had practices that are much more sustainable and much better for our planet, but because they are marginalized, their voices are not heard. I feel like it's a very important book to read. So yeah. Oh, and this is a former library copy too, so that's fun. Now the last stack that I have are books that I got from Pango Books, and this is from just one seller, and these are all nonfiction, by the way. Okay, the first one is The Radium Girls by Kate Moore. I've been wanting to read this book. I've been meaning to get this book. So it says The Dark History of America's Shining Women. So this is during the time when women have been working in factories and were exposed to radium. Now we know how that radium is dangerous and how it can affect a person, and they didn't know about this one, and they weren't informed of the risks of working and being exposed to radium, and they suffered the consequences of it. And it was I heard like some details about, you know, the effects of it, and it was very harrowing, and I wanted to educate myself on it as well. So The Radium Girls. Then we have The Highly Sensitive Person by Dr. Elaine and Erin. Says how to thrive when the world overwhelms you. I always see myself as like a highly sensitive person, so I don't know if I am, but I feel like the things that I've read about highly sensitive people applies to me a lot, so I think I am. So I've been wanting to educate myself more on that. So it says here, are you a highly sensitive person? Do you have a keen imagination and vivid dream? Is time alone each day as essential to you as food and water? Are you too shy or too sensitive according to others? Do noise and confusion quickly overwhelm you? If your answer is yes, you may be a highly sensitive person. And my answer is yes to all of it. So it has self-assessment tasks to help you identify your particular sensitivities, ways to reframe your past experiences in a positive light and gain greater self-esteem in the process, insight into how high sensitivity affects both work and personal relationships, tips on how to deal with over-arousal, information on medications and when to seek help, and techniques to enrich the soul and spirit. And then we have Stress-Free Productivity. This is a personalized toolkit to become your most efficient and creative self. And I'm a very anxious person. I feel like it goes hand in hand with being a highly sensitive person. Things overwhelm me very easily. I feel like it blocks a lot of the things that I wanted to do and, you know, my capabilities when I'm overwhelmed and stressed. I thought, you know, maybe I could read this one and try to work on it myself on my own. I don't know if it will work, but. And then we have Why We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams and Math by Dr. Matthew Walker. So I feel like a lot of people have heard about this one. And this is essentially, you know, the importance of sleep. And a lot of the things that I feel like a lot of us are not going to be aware of in terms of the importance of sleep and how being self-deprived can affect our overall health and not just our mental health. This is written kind of like a textbook, so I want to read it, but at the same time I know it's going to take me a while to read it because textbook style written nonfiction books are just not my jam. But this is related to psychology as well, so I feel like, you know, I'm going to enjoy this a lot more. So The Anxiety Toolkit by Dr. Alice Boyce, strategies for fine-tuning your mind and moving past your stuck points. So similar to the other one, Stress-Free Productivity, I feel like this is going to be beneficial for me. And on the back it says, you overthink before taking actions. You're prone to making negative predictions. You worry about the worst that could happen. You take negative feedback very hard. You're self-critical. Anything less than extraordinary performance feels like failure. It sounds like me. So, yeah. And the last one is Cognitive Behavioral Therapy Made Simple, 10 Strategies for Managing Anxiety, Depression, Anger, Panic, and Worry by Dr. Seth J. Gillihan. I learned about cognitive behavioral therapy when I was in university for psychology, because it's one of the most recent but also the most effective therapies available for treating people who have a variety of different mental illnesses and mental disorders. It can work with people who have anxiety, depression, anger management, panic, and sometimes helps also people who have personality disorders. So it's just a really great like overall therapy, and I've always wanted to learn a little bit more about it, but now it's more of like an application of, you know, things that a lot of people go through in our everyday lives, which is anxiety and depression. So those are all of the books that I bought and got this April. I'm not going to make any promises about May, but like I said in my previous haul, my initial plan for this year is to just do like quarterly hauls, because I'm planning on like not buying as much books, but we'll see how I'm gonna do. But these are the books that I got for April, and I need to do one because as you can see there's quite a bit of them. So, and hopefully I will not see you guys in a while with a book haul, but let's see. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you on my next one.